Jaguar, an iconic brand, has changed its logo and created an ad that has ruffled so many feathers online. The brand has received so much backlash and they're calling this the worst rebrand of the century. Some people are even saying, I'm going to sell my Jaguar but never buy from Jaguar. And I'm sure the brand knew that this was the feedback they would get, but they just went ahead and did the rebrand, so they knew exactly what they were doing. But why would they do this? Welcome to Monetize Attention. My name is jepkendagor, and on this channel I explore how your attention is used to make money, and I'm putting my master's degree in digital marketing and communication to work. When I really looked at this new campaign by Jaguar, Copy Nothing, I really thought, why are they doing this? Because they've really stepped away from what we know the brand to be all about. They've just done a complete overhaul. They're putting themselves at risk of losing their loyal customers. They're putting the company at risk of being cancelled and being boycotted, which would eventually send the brand to its grave. But they went ahead and did it anyway. And I would say maybe they chose this route because the business that they already have is no longer profitable. And from a business perspective, when things are not working, you make changes. It doesn't make sense to continue holding on to a loyal clientele that is no longer benefiting you. This actually makes a lot of sense because the car market is incredibly competitive in this day and age. It's not enough to just be a legacy brand. It's not enough to have been in the business for 100 years, because the market is producing innovative and newer products that have become a preference for a lot more people. So maybe Jaguar looked at their books and they figured out that something is not working out and they decided to change things. They could either make the changes or just close shop as well. And you know, when it comes to business and you find yourself between a rock and a hard place, you either take the risk or you end up failing anyway. So you would rather do the thing that is abominable, and even if it doesn't work out, at least you tried, instead of remaining the same and just ending up dead anyway, because yeah, business is cutthroat. I actually think that this new rebrand actually makes a lot of sense because they've decided that they want to go into electric vehicles. Statistically, it has been shown that people who have this affinity for legacy brands, for tradition, for history, most of the times are not really receptive to new things or new innovations. It actually makes sense that Jaguar is really trying to form a new customer base, because the people that are already buying from Jaguar would probably not be interested in the electric vehicles that have now decided they want to start manufacturing. Now, the amount of backlash that the brand was getting from this ad really got me curious to see what it's all about. And the new philosophy that they have for the brand is exuberant modernism. The moment I saw this, I was like, now I understand what the ad is all about. If we just break it down more, exuberant means over the top, and modernism has always been associated with radical change. So it really makes sense when you look at the visuals that have accompanied this rebrand. It's completely over the top and it's radical. It's something that's completely different from what has always been attached to Jaguar. Modernism has always been an artistic movement which has always prioritized experimentation and a self-conscious rejection of tradition. What I've been seeing over and over is people saying that this is the worst mistake. Jaguar didn't read the room, but I think it's the complete opposite. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. One of the things that I've seen people saying about the new Jaguar ad is that, oh, this is woke propaganda, this is wokeness. And I find this so interesting because, you know, people will always react from their level of exposure. So there are people who think that this is woke propaganda, but there's some people who will look at this and they'll think that this is artistic and it actually fits their new creative philosophy, exuberant modernism. In fact, that ad is the perfect visual representation of exuberant modernism. It's also funny because most times the people who are the loudest when it comes to criticizing something or criticizing you are the people who would never really support you. A lot of these people who are just complaining that this is woke propaganda would definitely not even fit into the target audience that Jaguar is looking for. I've also seen a lot of people trying to say that the ad is bad because there is not even a car in the ad. A lot of people who are saying this really do not realize that when it comes to advertising, there are different types of it. Of course, the most prevalent is product advertising, but in this case, with this Jaguar Jaguar ad, it was brand advertising. They were introducing their new creative philosophy. They were introducing the new direction for their brand. They're also setting the stage for themselves to actually find the new customer base. And essentially this immense backlash that a brand is getting is actually good for the brand, because it helps them to be seen by the people who would be interested in the new direction they're going into. That's why in marketing and public relations we always say that there's no bad press. There's nothing like bad attention, because all the attention that you always get will always help you in one way or another. Even when you're getting an immense amount of hate, the people who are hating on you will actually introduce you to the people who will be interested in what you're offering. They've used this momentum to talk about how they're going to introduce or unveil future design directions they have for the cars on 2nd December at Miami Art Week. And as some people are saying that, oh, this is going to kill their businesses, I would say maybe the brand is really focused on building the future. They keep on talking about the future, about how they're excited for the future. I mean, one of the things that you have to do in this day and age in order to be really successful is building brand equity in the minds of consumers, because you want to be top of mind the moment that a consumer decides to buy something. They are in the initial stages of building this brand reputation and brand equity, because obviously they're going into a new scope of business, electric vehicles, and they need to appeal to this new customer base with something different, because saying that you're producing electric vehicles is not enough anymore. You have to appeal with something more. And when it comes to luxury, for example, a lot of people tie luxury with their identities, and this new creative philosophy, exuberant modernism, definitely going to bring in a new clientele that resonates with that, and that is definitely a good strategy for the brand. Is this rebrand the worst choice of the century? I mean, only time can tell. When it really comes to business, and when you are really trying something that has never really been done, you will never know whether you are doing something great until you actually do it. And the way they've gone about this rebrand is definitely something that is new and different, absolutely radical. When it comes to the automotive industry, has always been very conservative, and now they're breaking the rules. And this is something that they keep on reiterating in the messaging. They want to break the rules. And obviously this makes sense for the brand, because Jaguar has always been a leader in the industry, not a follower. And if this rebrand ends up working, we'll see a lot of brands in the automotive industry copying what Jaguar is doing. And if it doesn't work, oh well, that's going to be something to learn. One thing I know for sure, this whole conversation has made me really excited to see their design reveal. So I'll definitely be keeping my eyes open for Miami Art Week. I definitely am not going to be there, because I don't live in the United States. I live in a small village in Kenya, but I'll definitely be watching out for YouTube videos. Whether they made a good choice or not, we don't know, but one thing they've done great for sure is building the anticipation for what they want to do for the future.